the key to finding products for Amazon dropshipping or Amazon arbitrage is to find brands. And these brands can come from specific suppliers such as Zoro.com, which is a popular supplier for Amazon dropshipping, or it can come from other suppliers. And it's taking those brands and determining on Amazon which of those brands are being sold by third-party sellers, not being sold by Amazon.com itself. Now, in the past, that was not such an easy thing to do unless you had some kind of software or something. And even then, it was still a bit of a challenge. But today, with Chat GPT, we can actually ask Chat GPT to tell us which brands are not sold by Amazon. So I'm going to go back in my search history and show you where I actually asked Chat GPT to, let's see what that question is, to find brands that are sold on Zoro.com but not directly by Amazon.com. And ChatGPT actually told me which brands meet that criteria. So the thing is, Amazon.com sells brands too cheaply, and also they're just hard. It's hard to compete with Amazon itself. And then, you want to make sure it's already being sold by third-party sellers, so that it's already being dropshipped, so you know that there are actual products there to dropship. So here's a list of 25 brands that ChatGPT gave me. And from here, what you would then do, of course, is have to take these brands, actually search them. I'll just take this one, Speakman, for instance. And on Zoro itself, they have their list of brands. And you can see that Speakman is here. And we can actually check it on the supplier as well. Actually, this is a good idea to check it on Zoro.com, the supplier itself, to see if they have a lot of products from this brand, and they do. They have 1,000 plus items for this Speakman brand. So you need the supplier to have a lot of products. But now I will take that Speakman over to Amazon and do a manual search. If you didn't notice by now, this is a process that I'm doing without sourcing software. So this process right here, up to this point, this will not cost anything, just to actually go to the supplier, see what brands they sell, ask ChatGPT which of these brands are not sold by Amazon, and then just to take those brands and start looking into them. So now I do see that Speakman products are showing up on Amazon. I don't need, any software to find these Speakman products. I just search Speakman, and because the brand has a good presence on Amazon, automatically their products will show up with that brand on top. Okay, now I can go ahead and start opening some of these products if I wanted to, try to source some of these. I'm going to look at, this product is being sold FBA. It's being shipped from Amazon. If I'm looking for other drop shippers, then I want it to be shipped from and sold by the same seller, right? Not from Amazon. However, just because it is FBA doesn't mean that I can't drop ship it, but I know it's being drop shipped if it's a third party, right? Or it's more likely to be. And then from here, I can try to source these, of course. Now, to do that manually, to go through here and try to source these one by one, of course, that takes time, and I can do that. But I also have Google Sheets that I've made that kind of help with that. I have an Amazon matcher sheet you can use from Zoro's, where you can go into Zoro and try to match the products to Amazon, or you can try to source. Basically, it helps to actually search products and find sources of products if you don't want to do it manually. But you can basically Google search these and see if you find results on Zoro, or you can search the product directly on Zoro itself. In fact, that's what I'll do. All right, is I'll take the product and actually search it directly on Zoro and see if that product shows up on Zoro.com. And I don't expect to just find a product right here, right now. I'm just showing you the overall process, but I'm not actually going to spend, an hour or two or anything actually trying to source these manually. Just showing you a process, okay? So whether or not we'll actually find that exact product is questionable. I don't know, right? But that's just like a process that you would follow. However, there's one thing that I can't just do manually, which is this brand safe to sell? Because IP complaints from brands are very, they're prominent today. This is a thing. And so this is where software comes in. You see that this has a green mark. This means that it's been marked off as a brand that is safe. However, not all brands are going to show up as safe, but this brand does show up as safe, right? I can't think of a brand right now that's not going to show up as safe to show you what that looks like, but brands that are not safe will come up with a red bulb instead of a green indicator underneath. So a Chrome extension that focuses on IP alerts is going to be IP alert. Focuses on IP complaints is IP alert. This is a page on their site. He has a video here that actually shows
hey guys, Chris
basically
here, today
how that Chrome extension actually works. So you can always come to this page, watch this video. Now you get a steep discount through my link. So it's very important that you use my link, which will include the discount code. So you get a steep 30% discount. And he does explain here that this is a human vetted brand tracking monitored by himself, the founder. So he has, I'm sure a team who actually takes care of actually doing a human touch, a manual investigation of brands that are being recommended as brands that need to be looked into because they're filing IP complaints. As he says here, not like other apps that just use, they just basically have a database. They just use a recycle list, as he says, of brand names, and that's it. Okay, this is a more human process where, they're collecting that data, but they're also doing manual evaluation. So that is the difference, because this software focuses on IP complaints specifically. There are other software that give you some IP indications, but this software focuses on the IP complaints. All right. So with this also, if you don't necessarily want like a monthly cost, this is a good way to just kind of pay for, you buy a license. Essentially, you pay for it one time, you get that license, and then you're just basically done. You're getting a 30% discount with it. So, check the link and see what the cost is and see if that's something you want to do. But, and you can go through this page some more and see what else they have here. But that is basically what I'm going to recommend. And again, that is the one part that I can't make a Google sheet for that. I can't, there's nothing I can do about that, right? You have to, if you're going to do dropshipping, you don't really need the FBA fees. You don't need the back-end data because you're not doing FBA, right? So we don't have FBA data on this product, but if we're going to dropship this, we don't need it. We just need to know the referral fee, right? But, we can't cut corners and cut costs on things like the brand safety when people are losing accounts because of these IP complaints. And even though you are approved to sell the brand, Amazon doesn't mean that they can't file an IP complaint against you. You can be approved to sell the brand, Speakman, and for all I know, they could file IP complaint. But of course, the software is indicating that they don't, and everything seems to be all right. And of course, there are other things you can look at as well. But basically, having the alert will help save you a lot of time and immediately letting you know if the brand's not safe. If you see a red bulb, it'll be very obvious, and it's going to tell you, hey, this brand's known to file IP complaints. All right, so that's basically it. I mean, that's basically the process. Again, you have a supplier, you have certain brands that supplier sells. You can take the brands over to Chat GPT, or actually, I provide the list of brands, by the way, for Zorro, and I have some other brands list too that I've scraped from like Rake It In, like thousands of brands. You can download those from me. All right, when you just basically subscribe to my it's a free email subscription for sellers, and I'll actually send you a lot of these brands lists, like thousands of brands I scraped from rakeitin.com, for instance. And you can just take those brands over to ChatGPT. This is amazing because you couldn't do this years ago, and ChatGPT will actually tell you, hey, these are the brands that can be sold on or that are not sold directly by Amazon. So anyway, that's basically it. Again, make sure you look into this whole process, and of course the IP Alert Chrome extension. See all the links in the description of this video. Mr. Mark. Hope this was helpful, and if anything, I'll see you around in another video.